Hey, Coach, just wondering what it was like, what that moment was like for all of you guys when Andy recovered the onside kick.
Relief. I have a lot of confidence in our guys, but it was such a crazy end of that game. We'd already recovered one, and just going out there and do it again. And the problem with Stephen Gutskowski, those are two tough kicks, and he's really good at that. We knew it was coming. We had practiced it during the week, and that's kind of his specialty, what he does best. And he executed two nice kicks, and our guys did a good job recovering them.
I mean, that was just one of some really a series of really nice plays by you guys on special teams in that game. How do you feel about making that kind of contribution from your unit?
I felt really good about the way we covered kickoffs, especially. We didn't get a chance in the return game. Obviously, Cody did a great job. Field goal protection operation was good. We had two penalties on punt return, which is very unlike us. We normally don't get penalized, especially in that phase. And like I told our guys, we lost over 50 yards of field position. That's totally unacceptable. So knowing who I am, and you guys have talked to me now for 2 years, I was really upset about that. Obviously, very happy we won, very happy we contributed to the win. But we've got to correct those mistakes going forward. We're not gonna help our team win in the big games and the big moments like that are all coming up here in the next 4 weeks and hopefully beyond.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mary Kay. We'll go to Nate Ulrich.
Hey, Coach. When it comes to the hands team, I mean, you guys have been in a bunch of tight games this year. So, how much do you work on that? And I mean, how do you even go about, kind of putting that unit together, and what all goes into the hands team, because it has mattered a lot for you guys this year.
Sure, absolutely. It's kind of fun that way. So it starts during the week with our Sam DeLuca, one of our personnel guys, does a great job. He puts together a cut up for me every onside kick that kicker or punter, if he's the kickoff guy, whoever that is that we're playing that week, he puts together a cut up that goes back as many years as we can go back. And I watch all those, and I pick out the ones that I think are the most effective kicks we need to show our guys. And then like today is like a normal Thursday. We'll work on those in practice today, 3 or 4 or 5 reps, whatever it takes. We'll show a little bit more tape even the night before the game, what their specialty is and what we need to do to execute. And so I tell our guys we spend more time than anybody. I don't know if we do. I'm sure a lot of coaches spend as much time as we do, but it is a big emphasis for us, and especially because of who we are and how we're built and all the close games that we're in and how important that play is.
Thank you, Nate. Our next question goes to Dan Lobby.
Hey, Coach, we obviously ask you about Donovan a lot, but, we saw on Sunday he had the drop and then he makes the big play. I mean, what is it about him that allows him to overcome a mistake like that? Because I'm sure you've worked a lot with him, considering he was your return guy.
He has got a quiet confidence about him. He doesn't say much. He's a rookie, which is always nice when a rookie doesn't say a whole lot. That's kind of how you like rookies. He's very intelligent, so he understands the game. He understands situational football. He understands what he brings to this football team as a receiver and as a returner. So I think because he does have that quiet confidence about him, he's able to bounce back from any mistakes that he might have.
And then, with Kevin in a situation like that, to kind of trust him and, dial that play up for him, that big play up for him. What do you think that says about how Kevin approaches stuff like that?
Well, I think Donovan's earned Kevin's trust. He's earned this football team's trust. I mean, the young man made a mistake. He dropped the ball. He made a mistake on one of our returns, and he got the one he cut all the way back for a 1-yard return. If he loses a little bit of ground, he gets to the edge. He's got a whole wall of blockers right there. So he's got a good 15, 20 yards, hopefully maybe even more. But so because he is young, we keep talking about that, and that's true. And as we got 12 games under our belt now, he's no longer a rookie per se. He's got to approach things more like a young veteran. But because he is smart, he has that quiet confidence, like I said about him, I think he'll continue to improve.
Thanks.
Thank you, Dan. Scott Petrick, you're up.
Mike, I was wondering if you could talk about the growth that your unit and then the team in general have made since that disappointing opener in Baltimore.
So it's funny. I shouldn't have done it to myself, but I watched the game last night. I watched it in order from beginning to end, our special teams against Baltimore, the first game. And man, when I left the building last night, I was in a bad mood. We played terrible. And I know it was a team loss, and nobody played very well, but we obviously didn't do anywhere near close to what we've been doing lately in terms of helping our football team. So that's kind of staying with me a little bit. And not that there's never revenge or anything. It's just the next game on the schedule is the Baltimore Ravens. They're a great football team. They got outstanding special teams, and we've got a lot to prepare for. But it's an exciting time of year. We're 9-3. We're fighting hard. We're in December. It's a really important game. It's Monday night. It's going to be fun for our guys. At the end of the day, I think we have grown. I think we've gotten a lot better. We've got a lot of confidence. These young players have stepped up and played much better in coverage phases. And we got a return going a little bit against Jacksonville. We obviously got to get our punt return going a little bit more. But at the end of the day, whatever we can do in that situation, in that moment to help our football team, that's been our focus, and that will continue to be our focus down the stretch.
So then you kind of brought it up. What goes through your head when you see the fake punt that doesn't work? And has that had any kind of lingering impact on whether or not you call another one?
No, I don't think so. I think anytime, we felt like we had a great opportunity there, and if the punter stays outside, he might have ran all the way to Cleveland. Because we had a nice wall set up, and it should have been a big play for us, and we made a mistake. So, we have punt fakes in every week. We're always going to be ready for the right situation, and whenever the head coach wants to dial them up, we'll be better ready to dial them up.
Thanks.
Yep.
Thanks, Scott. Tom Withers, we'll go to you.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Mike. Hey, Mike, I know as a coach, you're always checking in on your players from a physical standpoint, making sure that they're fit and ready to go. How much more this year have you looked at their mental health, Mike, just in terms of checking in, keeping them, from getting mentally fatigued 12 games in these unique circumstances?
That's a great question. And it's, obviously I'm not qualified. I'm not a doctor, but, I can sense players' moods. I can sense when the jovial guy is not being jovial, or the guy who's normally quiet is even more quiet than he usually is. So, I think as coaches and as players, we always got to check that, and we got to make sure that, I'm kind of guy like to tease and joke and sarcastic. That's kind of the way I was raised, and being from Northeast Ohio, I think we're all kind of like that in a way. But I do try to make sure these guys are doing okay, and whether, especially the practice squad guys. I mean, Matt McCrane's been here all year, or almost all year, and we got guys that have done a great job on practice squad all year long, and making sure they're doing okay, because a lot of them are staying in the hotel, and a lot of them don't have anybody around them, and they don't have family here. And so you try the human aspect of it. You try to make sure that those guys are doing okay. And, you do demand a lot from them when they're in the building and when they're on the practice field, and in the meetings, and making sure, they're doing okay. But I like to check in with them, especially either on the side, or I get on that Zoom meeting 10 minutes early, and the guys that are popping up, I'm asking about how things are going and how their life's going. And, Montrell Meander had his little girl yesterday, holding his little girl before the Zoom meeting started. I mean, that type of stuff keeps people going. So that's a great question. It's a very important question.
Thank you.
Next question goes to Mary Kay Cabot.
Yeah, I'm going to try to sneak two in here real quick. First of all, do you think you'll have Tedrick Thompson available to you on special teams? And if so, are you looking forward to having him help out?
Tedrick, I know, is a very good football player. I'm glad he's here. I'm glad he's a Cleveland Brown. Not sure how far we're going to get with him on special teams this week, but I'm sure down the line we're going to need him at some point.
Okay. And then the other one is, could you believe Justin Tucker missed the field goal? And
No.
No,
I had to double check when I saw it on tape. I'm like, no, that really didn't happen. That had to go through. That's Justin Tucker. It always goes through. And it's inside of 40. It's inside of 50. The guy, dude, doesn't miss. He's automatic. He's a great kicker. And unfortunately, he missed it last week. In fact, when I saw he did miss it, I was bummed out that he missed it this past week instead of the weekend coming up. But he is a great player.